Hi everyone, welcome to JICAF Podcast, and this is the special episode because today we have founders from the mothers of the big brothers of JICAF, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is
the
special
fathers?
founder
This is
episode.
the mothers.
This is the father and the mother.
Yeah.
Betul.
Mom, dad.
Hello. You're too much.
So today we are bringing together the people behind two of Southeast Asia's biggest illustration movements. We have Abdul Shakir from KL Illustration Fair. And Michael Ang from Illustration Arts Fest Singapore. Welcome to the show.
Father!
Too much.
We were talking about kok aku nggak kenalin kamu ya?
Ya enggak.
Lupa.
Ding 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 ding.
We also have Yoga as one of the founder from JICAF.
Yay! Woo! Alright.
I'm the oldest son.
Yeah.
Firstborn, the firstborn.
Firstborn.
We were talking about mother, father. Maybe the audience wanted to know why.
Yeah.
Why we call them mother and
Father.
father. Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're asking me.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
asking you.
Okay, why? Because these two person
Yeah.
in front of me is my inspiration, our inspiration. Without them, maybe there's no GCAF.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Can you
Because
tell us the whole story about it?
okay, the story is about it happened in 2022, I guess. Yeah, it's still pandemic. Yeah, it's still in pandemic. After the pandemic happens, and then I get to know Abdul Shakir via Ardira Putra.
The
And then-
man.
Yeah,
The
the,
mayor.
man,
Guy.
the mayor,
Yeah.
The mayor.
the uncle.
The uncle.
And then Adira Putra set us up into one Zoom meeting, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, Discord or
Yeah, Discord or Zoom meeting, and then we connected, and then Shakir told me a story about this Southeast Asia movement before all of this happened.
Okay.
Yeah, so Shakir wants to connect us together. Like he told me a story about what happens in Manila, what happens in Bangkok, what happens in Singapore, and then he really encouraged Indonesian artists to connect it with international and to the neighbors. And then okay. Gitu. And then after that, I asked her, "Who's this guy? Why he's so enthusiastic?"
Apa ini?
Yeah.
Pasti anak ini kok aktif
Yeah,
sekali.
What is he smoking?
Yeah. but not long after that, he came to
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah he came
Right.
to Jakarta,
Jakarta.
and then you stay in Ardira's place, right?
The one the Maung ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That night.
Yeah, and at that night, I told Shakir some movement because Shakir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bandung.
Yeah. Because Shakir said after this, I want to go to Bandung.
Yeah.
So I told Shakir, when you meet Bandung people, say this, Aing Maung. And then he did that to all the
Really? You did it?
Bandungs.
No. For some people.
Yeah.
Bandung.
After that, we became friends, and then not long after that, you told me about you starting to create Kuala Lumpur Illustration Fair that initially should be in 2020.
Was supposed to be, I think 2022, but then we
2022,
started,
yeah.
2023 we started the first.
Yes. And then the first time is on 2023 on May. Yeah.
Yep. Correct.
On May. And then
Look.
what-
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? Hey, come here, you brother. Sunny go. After that, Shakir also invite me because I still doing like this digital art And then Shakir told me, "Hey, I have a space for digital artists. Exhibit your work here." You know. Then I
In
sent
KLIF.
in KLIF, yeah. Then I send the works to Shakir, and then Ardira is also one
Yes,
of
one of
the
the highlighted
highlighted artists
artists.
in KLIF, the first edition of KLIF.
Correct.
And then Shakir invited me, go lah, visit to KLIF. And then we go together with Ardira also going there, giving the talks. And then I met Michael.
Yes.
Hmm.
We all got connected during that.
Yeah, we're
Was
connected
wonderful.
in KL.
KL, yeah.
Also with Billy.
Yes.
Billy is
Billy.
the president, right?
He's the poster child.
Poster child.
Foster child. Yeah, actually, Billy is the
Poster
mom.
child.
Yeah, mom.
Yeah.
She's the real mom.
Yeah, Shakir is more like apa tuh bidan?
Yeah. Yang menyambut ya.
You're the delivery boy. Yeah, and then in KLIF we did a lot of conversation. The main point is to have this movement together through illustration. It's illustration fair because so many international artists are asking about why Jakarta didn't have any illustration fair. And that's the trigger, actually.
Actually, we have some art markets.
We have some art
illustrators,
markets, you know, but we didn't have
Exclusive.
or international illustration fair that have international artists.
Okay.
We only have a local or maybe city-based illustration fair, right? Not like a nationwide or international illustration fair. And then after that, the conversation going, and then I've been asking a lot of questions to Shakir, to Billy, to Michael. So, and then how they started it, and then how they become this illustration fair, program director or apa sih bahasanya kalau misalnya
Festival.
penyelenggara tuh.
Yeah, Festival Director.
Penyelenggara.
Penyelenggara tuh apa ya?
Maksudnya
bahasanya?
how they
Iya,
how
maksudnya
they can
gimana
manage
akhirnya,
how they can manage to establish the
Festival.
Yes.
festival, yeah.
Yes. After that, I've met Sunny, I've met Robbie, and then suddenly JICAF happened in November.
Yeah, it's like
Within the same year.
amazing.
the same year.
Of 2023. That's what.
Yeah.
5 months.
5 months, yeah.
Oh my
5
Until
months,
May.
yeah.
Yeah.
5
Because of
months
you
after,
guys.
after meeting these guys.
Yeah, they always said, you have to do it right now because Manila doing it, Singapore doing it, Bangkok doing it. You have to do it right now. Okay.
Pressure. Peer pressure.
Yeah. And then November, JICAF happened.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
to you
you.
guys.
It's wonderful to see this thing happening in Jakarta.
It's wonderful to see
Yeah.
my mom and dad being together.
Can I give you guys an applause?
Yay.
So Yoga have told us the story about how you guys met and then how finally JICAF comes alive. But from your perspective, how did the idea starting an illustration fair come about in your respective countries? Maybe
Okay.
Michael can
Michael
go
first.
first.
The
Michael
senior. We let the senior.
Yeah.
Oh, malu lah. Okay, so anyway, it's like there's no senior or junior. I think we're all trying to make a good thing for our own individual country and cities, and we just feel that there's this great need because for the longest time it's always like why is it that the more established Westerners or Americans are showing us the way. And for the longest time, we neglect our own artists. There isn't any platform to showcase, our own artists first.
Yeah.
You know, they need a platform and they are doing wonderful stuff. Why nobody is acknowledging or crediting them? So we feel this pain, you know. And then as a practicing artist myself, it's also like, I'm also trying to scratch my own itch because when I go to London, I go to Japan, I see the festival there, I say, why don't we have it in our own country? You know, it's so sad. What is stopping us? You know, so and that's how it started. It got into us that no, we cannot let this go on forever. If nobody's gonna do it, I'll do it. You know, or we'll form a team. We'll somehow make this thing happen. yeah, that's the story for Singapore. And we got tremendous help from the festival that we look up to at that time, which was ELCAF, is ELCAF in London. And they were our inspiration because
Oh, that's the grandfather then.
The
yeah, the grandfather, yes,
Yeah.
ELCAF. But so sorry that during COVID they closed.
Oh.
Yeah, they're no longer.
Permanently.
Yeah,
They're
and
based
the,
in London, is it?
is in London. Yeah, and I went to the event 3 times, 2 times as a participant, bringing works from Singapore artists to the event, and they're so nice to host us, and the standard is so high, but they allow us to participate. And at the same time, when we are doing this, we are looking at what they do. We also reach out to them and said, "Can you guide us? Because we have never done this before, and we love what you do. Can we do this in Singapore together?" And they were so kind and supportive, and they say, "Sure, pick a date, let's arrange." And then they actually send 4 of the team there. On top of that, they give us their A-list of artists, which is
So good.
like artists that we can only dream of. We don't even dare to ask.
Yeah.
And they say,
Wow, so
we are already
cool.
asked on their behalf. They are going to Singapore, but this is the MOU. Okay,
Oh,
let's
what a
do it.
support, yeah.
Yeah, which is amazing. We didn't expect them to be so open.
It's
So,
it's happening in 2016.
2016, yes.
2016.
That was our first event.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
So that's the story.
2016.
Yeah.
Thank you, grandfather. so what are they doing now?
No, so it's basically started from a publisher. So
Okay.
the parent company is called No Brow.
No,
It's
bro.
famous. So when a lot of our students were studying in London, they're always telling us about No Brow, and we can see even Basha was selling their magazines.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's like amazing. This was before Rizzo was big.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were doing like special print, hand silk screen comics and posters. Yeah, in their basement.
No
and then at the
Brow,
same time, they were publishing their own books. And then after that, they have another arm called Flying Eye, which is for kids and educational. Also with the same branding, very strong. And then on top of that, they run the London Festival. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's like the most happening stuff I've seen. It's like, wow, really love the vibe, love the energy and the curation. Yeah, that's why we invited them to, please help us. Let's collaborate. Yeah.
Oh, what a
That's
story.
me
To them,
Please help
yeah.
us. Please help Indonesia. Make Indonesia great again.
Yeah, it's already great. Yeah, cool.
What a
And then-
story then. What about Shakir?
Yeah. So for Kuala Lumpur Illustration Fair, I think I'm not the best person to like share the story on how we started Kuala Lumpur Illustration Fair, because there's 5 of us within the committee. But personally, my story is I met Billy. I think 2016, 17 around that time. Through Faris and some of our friends in Kuala Lumpur, and the idea is that I wanted to kick start the event called Kuala Lumpur Design Week.
Yeah.
So we used to have this really great not illustration fair,
Design festival.
design festival, and
So
run
Shakir
and led
can go. Yeah.
run and led by the locals. I mean, not by government at all. So I met Billy because she's one of the committee or like the team that ran last time. And then Joan was also one of the heads during that time. And then we were just chatting around and so on. And I was throw the idea to them, like, why not we start back? But there's some hurdles to use that name, and then we just become friends for the longest time up until
It's before A Space.
before A Space. I think Juan started A Space around 2017, 18, I guess, around that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Juan just come back from Japan, and then we will building up the community.
Okay.
And I mean, I have my own community through Filament and so on, which is more very digital oriented.
Digital, yeah.
That's how we get to know each other, and we talk about that. And at one point, Billy contacted me and said that, hey, we are starting something new. I think you'll be interested, but it's not exactly design per se. It's going to be very niche. And then I went to the meeting, and then all 5 of us sit down. So it's me, Billy, Juan, Jang and also Lai. So there's 5 of us who sort of like came together and say, okay, is we laid down what is the problem or like things that we don't have, and then how we can actually fill up that gap. So I share with them, what I wanted to do is to bring people together, whether any kind of like background. And for me, it doesn't matter whether it's illustration or design or whatever, as long as people can come together. So there's no differences between whatever we practice. It's quite similar anyway, right? So that's how we actually started. I guess everything actually started from I guess Juan and Jang with the idea with bringing people together to do something, and yeah, I was really in to be part of the committee. And then straight away after that we found a space, and it's also, I guess for us, we have a lot of like possibility and much more easier for us to activate something because most of the things is already laid out in front of us, and it's just right time for us to start. So we started in GMBB. It's a new space, and then at the same time the
cool
community is
space.
there. So at the same but while building that, like I mentioned to you, because I start to already looking at some of our friends from Singapore, from other places and stuff. I told them, hey, why not we invite also them? Like it's Kuala Lumpur, of course we have Malaysians, but why not we invite our friends? That's why I proposed Adira Putrani as one of our
You're
highlighted
the one
artists.
proposing earlier.
So Adira, and of course through that, I mean, during that time, that's the peak of Adira Putra. He was viral in TikTok and so on. And was like, oh yeah, we want this guy. So it's quite easy to like convince the team during that time. And yeah, that's how we started and how we got connected and stuff, and how we met.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
But Michael started IIF. You guys started KLIF, five of you, right?
Yes, 5 of us.
What about
It's
IIF?
23. Yeah, how many people?
How many people started it?
Actually, we have at first we have a committee of like 5.
Oh, so
Yeah,
it's
so
quite the same, yeah.
Three other design, but they're all illustrators.
Oh, okay.
Because theirs, the background is quite diverse. So
Yes.
in terms of resources, it's actually stronger.
Uh-huh.
Ours is like we're just illustrators. We just want to have a fun festival,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we know nothing. We have never run anything this big before, and especially with international artists and all that, we don't know any better. So yeah, so that's the main difference. And then the other thing is also is we're independent. We don't really get government funding. Yeah, in fact, illustration is not it's not even classified properly. It's not fine arts. It's not art.
Yeah.
So
You know, and not even
You're not
design.
even design.
Yeah. But actually, design and illustration is very close to me.
Yeah,
Including animation.
true.
But somehow we are like the neglected stepchild.
Yes, there, but not there.
Yeah. So we have to look after ourselves if nobody is doing it for us. Yeah. So that's how it is.
Okay.
That's why you're scratching your own itch.
Yeah, got to scratch, man. Eczema, man.
Very interesting because I think that conversation you mentioned just now, that we are not supported by the government.
Yeah.
Actually, we all actually like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
We're
us,
all
the
similar,
way how we
actually.
started, we just put our own money first. That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
we need 5 people, because we need people
Okay.
who 5 people who can put money. Like,
Really?
start.
Yeah.
We do that.
Okay.
That's how we started.
We did that also on the first year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if not, then it's not going to happen. I told them we need to, if we feel this is the right thing to do, I don't mind to invest, and this is to invest for the community. I always my personal is always for community.
Ours, we don't have a collective funding.
It's
Yeah.
more like how.
So?
Like how.
So like
So how is it?
uncle lah.
So you have like a big
No.
sugar daddy.
So it's like how we got connected to London was through one of our so-called member. He's like a junior illustrator. He was studying in London. Then he said, "Oh, I saw this event, blah 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 in London. It's so cool. You must come and see." And then I'm going to interview the founder. Is it okay if I use the OIC Singapore's name? I said, "Yeah, sure. Please go ahead." So he went interview. Blah blah blah. They say, after that, hey, very good vibe. Blah blah blah. The founder is very kind. I said, I'm. How about we suggest that we collab with them? I said, wow, you serious? We're nothing, they're so already established and people know them. They say, okay lah, if you can talk to them and they say, okay, then we do it lah. Yeah. So once that is connected, then I'm the one to help to kind of like solidify the deal. I actually fly over to London at my own expense. Talk to them, had dinner with them, and then after that even participated in their event, and also at my own expense, never apply for funding.
Really, really big investment, yeah.
It was okay. I think it was worth it, and I was also curious to see what's the big deal, And I really, when I was there, I was like blown away. It's like amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so that's how it started, and then during the start of the Singapore first festival, we have to talk to a few people. We couldn't afford to like pay for a venue, so we worked with the school, which is LaSalle. Yeah, so in LaSalle there was the animation department. The head of the animation department, Chris, he was actually very supportive. So he's saying, let's do it in our school. We have we'll be the venue sponsor, but you have to take charge of the other things like the bringing in artists and whatever curation thing that you do. They said, okay, fine. So whatever other expenses that we have to pay, I will have to do it lah. Just making sure that we make sure that there's enough income to come in, because running a festival is not easy. You always have to balance the book, and that's the hardest thing. And then worst thing is if you have a venue sponsor, they may give you certain red line. Like if you sell tickets, you cannot sell tickets because it's a school. It cannot be profit making. It must be free. Or we have the tables. We're giving you all the tables for the art market. You cannot charge above a certain price.
Because people will get it too expensive for some people.
And then on top of that, we must have a few tables for the students.
Okay.
There's a deal that you need to work.
We have to work with that. And then
if that includes students.
And then on top of that, they say that because this is the very, very first time we are doing it, in order to get approval from my school, because he's only in charge of one department, but he need the clearance from the school head to say that let's do it. I have to ensure that I have to work with one big festival in Singapore that would have traction to say that this thing is credit. It means a proper, legit event. Yes, legit is the word.
You connected with
Singapore Writers Fest.
Singapore Writers Fest.
NAC.
Okay.
So we talk to them. So this is things that we have to do to kind of like satisfy if you have like event partners and all that, just to get the deal going. So it's tough. And then the thing is, we have never done this before, but so I'm the most senior guy there in our group. So I have to go to all this negotiation and just to get the deal running. And then on top of that, so Singapore Writers Fest is also not easy. They will say, yes.
There's another deal.
Show us the artist. Okay. Wow, cool. This artist, we want this artist. They're all recommended by our London friends. So there's wow, they love it. So that is cool. So there's one tick, right? But then on top of that, they say, okay, we will work together, but you must time your event so that it can spill nicely into ours. Right. So meaning that they will have to they'll come for my event. Then after that, they got to stay long enough to take part in the other event. All the costs in between, I have to pay.
bear.
During their festival, they will pay.
The hotels and so on.
So sometimes I think, is it a good deal to get the funding or get the sponsorship or whatever, or to get their buy-in? But we have no choice because it's the first time we're doing it. We have to have some like to be seen, like, okay, people are talking about it, and we're working with Writers Fest, which is like long established in Singapore and funded by the government. So so we have to do it lah.
Things that you do for the creative ecosystem.
It's not easy. It's not easy to organize.
But what role do you guys think illustration fairs play in building a stronger creative ecosystem?
You mean for
the fair? How creative our illustration fairs can have a role in building a stronger creative ecosystem, maybe around inside the countries.
Well, I guess the reason why I even actually go to Billy at the first place to kickstart Kuala Lumpur Design Week at one point is because I was a product of that. So I was still studying in college. One of my first event was KL Design Week and also VGA Fest. So this festival is where I, as students, got to see what happened outside of university, and I get to know what is the industry looks like.
Get inspired. Also.
Yeah.
So you got inspirations from that.
Exactly,
that,
and I get to talk directly to these, artists,
These
designers.
professionals.
Yeah, they're all these
Professional,
professionals, right?
experts.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they might be my, supervisor or my manager later
Yeah.
on as I go out, right? So, I think we stopped to KL Design Week around 2013, 2014, really early, and then I take initiative to also do some stuff. We call I work with another guy, Hussein Han. We activated this Adobe community mixer where we do short kind of like 2-3 hours talks at universities. So we go to universities and do that and stuff. It's for free, and we got some merchandise from Adobe Singapore. They ship in some stuff for us to do something. So I felt like there's always a need for us to connect, and it will happen. And the best way to do it is through this kind of event.
Yeah.
Because
True.
Another one side of the coin is we have a business event.
Yeah.
Business event sometimes in Malaysia, my observation, my opinion, is catered to B2B. So it's not really open for students.
Not
There
B2C, more to B2B.
Exactly. So I mean, like for like for example, some of I'm not going to mention the name, but some of the event in KL for the conference, it costs like almost 1,000 ringgit. To go to watch 2 days conference event.
2 days, 1,000 ringgit.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
So it's not accessible for everyone.
It's not accessible.
Yeah.
So they expect the companies actually sponsor
okay,
the team to send the team to go in.
Yeah.
So it's very B2B. It's B2B,
very B2B.
right? But we have very very less event, and that's why when Billy and Juan and Jang said, "Oh guys, let's do this." It's going to be good for the community. So because I all in for community, anything for the people.
Oh my God, you're like a the peacemaker of United Nations.
but again, that's how we all get connected,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, yeah.
So
Because
then,
we love peace.
Yes, and like you mentioned just now, you asked the question about the
Yeah,
ecosystem.
the
So
creative ecosystem.
eventually we get to bring in other people from
Yes.
other industries
Yes.
to work with it, and I don't know, maybe later on, Yoga, you can also mention, because I think might also mention the other day when we talk about it. I think Jakarta show how we can really bring brands together, because I know it's not easy,
Yeah.
but we try in Malaysia, right? We try to like work with other brands, but they have a very strong opinion on what they wanted to do. But here we can see, how you guys work with other brands, and they are very supportive, and the way how they actually celebrate local talent. I think that's very very inspiring for us actually as a organizer.
Yeah.
That's I think very very interesting to look into how the ecosystem can even grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Your opinions about how illustration fair can really give contribution to creative ecosystem?
The answer is yes.
But why?
Why? How illustration fair
Yeah.
can contribute to the
Michael first.
okay.
Eh, again.
Okay, me first.
Yeah. Please.
Okay. I think illustration fair is like it's like a window shopping of how trends, how design, and how arts can be applied to many mediums. And I think that's the key impact to ignite, to be the inspiration again for brands, for designers, for younger artists, and then the trends will move, and then the wind is changing. Yes, that's why we need an annual event for that. And then all the normies are learning, and all the juniors are starting to become seniors. Yeah. Then after that, become a sustainability movement.
So there will be a regeneration.
Yeah, regeneration also. That's why I agreed with Shakir that we always need festivals.
Yeah.
More specific, more better. Actually, yeah. But maybe in Indonesia, we still doing it like when you have a festival, you have to be a big festival. You have to be mass festival. Can be too specific because when it become too specific, it will become echo chamber.
Yes.
And the audience is always like illustrator and just illustrator.
Yeah.
What we do in JICAF is how we can bring illustrator to the mass. That's why we collaborate with brands. That's why we collaborate with other industries. Like we collaborate illustrator with musician. We collaborate illustrator with filmmakers.
Yeah.
Our main vision is to become a platform for people to know that the vision of this illustrator are there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing about the illustration fair and the festival.
Yeah. You want to add something?
Sure.
Yeah.
So very basic. It's like I want people to come to the festival because I want to wow them. It's like, huh? You can do this for a living?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's the
That's
thing
the
because
thing, yeah.
it's like, especially in pragmatic Singapore, you know, everything is money, money, money.
Pragmatic.
Very pragmatic. You know, it's like don't study art, go and do something else. Art cannot make money.
I think Indonesia is also
It's everywhere.
Also-
It's
Yeah,
an
it's
Asian,
everywhere.
Asian.
Asian thing.
Yeah, it's Asian thing.
Yeah.
Be a doctor, don't draw.
Yeah. So we want to show good examples of look, you know, so and so is like is collaborating with this brand,
Yeah.
doing this, doing that to the art, you know, which nobody can believe it because it's like if we don't show it, nobody will know,
Yeah.
right? Or there would we also believe that by putting them all together in one exhibition space just for the weekend and inviting all the advertising
Yeah.
or creative people that we know to bring about a conversation where they may not even look at this piece of work if it's not shown in that space or know about, we have an artist like this in Singapore or in KL or in Jakarta,
Yeah.
you know. So that kind of matchmaking
Yes.
is
Yeah,
super
yeah.
important.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a very important role that we play.
Yeah.
Inspiration and matchmaking.
Yeah.
Very agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything that what you guys want to add?
No.
No. Okay.
My answer is yes.
Yes. I do.
Okay. So before we wrap things up, I would love to hear a short message from all of you guys. What's your hope? Do you need water?
No.
Okay. What's your hope for the future of Southeast Asia creative ties?
Who want to start first?
Because I personally really love hearing you guys saying about getting together of the communities,
Yes.
bring people together, collaborating with different backgrounds, but we are all focusing on arts. But what is your hope? Because the Southeast Asia ties, I think it's the future. I think, yeah.
I can chime in on that. I mean in terms of like hopes, I think what I foresee is happening. That's great. My hope is the generation after that. That's
Yeah,
I think what
true.
Yoga mentioned just now, sustainability, and this is the conversation that currently we have. One good example that we currently looking at is also our father. How Mike actually can sustain
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the longest time. We just started actually.
Yeah.
We started in 2023. Both of us. So now the conversation that we have also in KL is to look into the long term, because this year is already third year of both of us running.
Yes.
We in KL we did it at the same venue. We maxed up already
The space, the
out
usable
space,
space. Yeah.
and also we maxed out the audience. We have 20,000 this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
20,000.
max. I mean,
Amazing.
yeah, that's
My
the
God.
max we can actually receive, because the building cannot handle more than that.
Oh my God.
If we want
It
to do
is
it,
more.
we need to move to other place.
So
But
Bukit Jalil.
Oh.
that's the thing. Do we need to?
Yeah.
Right. So now we look into the sustainability part, because sustainability also will then look into both side, the financial side and also the community side.
That's very strong point. Yeah.
So so within the community that we have, committee side, there's always sideds. So that's why we need to have a group of people for us to balance each other out. And yeah, my hope is that we can have this for a long term.
Yes.
And that's my hope.
Please.
And in any kind of city, because I always mention, in any way, in any kind of project, whatever I do, is all about the community. Because if there is no this kind of platform, the community cannot happen, and there's no
Yeah.
ecosystem.
Yes.
Right.
True.
So we need to think about, it's not only about us, it's
Yes.
about people.
Yeah.
So that's
Nice.
my hope. Yeah, my hope is to make sure that we can, next 10 years, the people can say, oh yeah, last 10 years I was in high school, I went to Jakarta Illustration
Yes,
Fair.
Yeah.
we're hearing that.
Now, like, I'm part of the Jakarta Illustration Fair. That kind of like story.
Yeah.
I think that's
Nice,
my hope.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the thing that I feel is hopeful. Okay, it's like how we consult each other, the different events. Like, we are doing our own thing in our own city the best we can. At the same time, we are also exchanging ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time I see, like, oh damn, Jakarta raised the level again. Third year running. Like, oh my God. So that is in a way exciting, and also like making us like, damn, how do we get better? We need to constantly improve.
But it's good in a way.
We're sparring
we push,
like that.
Yeah, we push
Yeah.
each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time,
Ourselves.
Yeah.
yeah. At the same time, the other very important thing is how we exchange artists.
Yes.
Yeah, especially the one that we're doing with Bangkok.
Bangkok.
Okay,
Yeah.
whereby we will go there as a reviewer to pick two Thai artists.
Yes.
For ourselves, we offer two Thai artists, but it's up to the different festival to offer what they can do.
Yeah,
lah.
yeah,
And then at the same time, they also let us like recommend two of our artists that we feel are worth showing over to Bangkok. And then there's this kind of cultural exchange.
yeah.
And then we are also doing this because when you have the open call, we also have Singapore artists participating, Indonesian artists coming for event, Malaysian
Yeah.
artists. And yeah, they can be everywhere. And somehow
Yes.
with this network, this very friendly network, I think it kind of like make illustration a thing that, you know, it's like we're starting to see brands feeling proud that, oh,
Yes.
I actually signed on this artist.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then even now, because back in the day when I started, it wasn't like that. It was like, if you do artwork and you sign your name,
You cannot do that.
you cannot. They say, hello, I paid you. Please take out your name.
Yeah.
You know?
Then you
Yeah.
put it very small.
Yeah.
No, but we're ways of making it work. So anyway, so
You
now,
become an agency, not an artist.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, so now it's different. Now it's like you're no longer just that invisible person, because
Yeah.
the
The
message.
brand needs your name.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah. The brand needs
now
your name.
the brand needs
Yeah,
your
yeah,
name.
exactly. And
Yeah.
even before that, we always have to remind them that, look, that beautiful picture on the wall don't just happen out of nowhere. There's an
Yeah.
artist behind it.
Yeah.
And we
Yes.
need to know who's the artist.
Yes.
If everybody knows Picasso, why doesn't anyone know like, who's the Picasso in Jakarta or in Singapore or whatever,
yes.
right? Yeah, and I in our event, we feel that things are changing, especially since we start pushing, and now they are so happy to say, oh, so and so, you're drawing this beautiful work for us, blah blah blah. How should we credit you? If put a name like this, is it okay? They actually consult and get feedback, which is like, wow.
So it's
Amazing.
growing, yeah. They're
It's
just
growing,
yeah.
and we are trying to build respect for the profession and also for the individual artists.
Yeah.
That they are doing something special. They're sharing the vision, and somehow they work with your brand. I think there's synergy there,
Yes.
and there should be this kind of mutual respect that somehow we can bring whatever they are collaborating on to
Yeah.
a new level. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
You want to add something?
Oh yeah. For
Your
me,
hope for
Yeah.
your hope for the future.
Yeah, for
of
JICAF.
Southeast Asia.
for Southeast Asia,
Yes, yes, yes.
especially for JICAF. I hope JICAF is sustained and we go longer than maybe forever.
Then we
Yeah.
can expect. Yeah.
Yeah, but for especially for Southeast Asia, there's two words that come to my mind. The one is connection. I hope we can get connected more because I believe there's this artist. Some artists are not having their market locally. Like there's this artist maybe having their own market in Singapore, maybe in Kuala Lumpur, and maybe in Bangkok, but they didn't perform well in Indonesia. But because that we have the connection, they can go easily everywhere. Then they can try, they can get a new audience.
Yeah, maybe meet their real market.
meet their place.
Yeah.
Like I belong here.
Yes, yes.
My work belong here. Something like that. And then after the connection has built, the appreciation is also getting bigger. Yeah, those two words are my biggest hope happening to Southeast Asia, so we can connect it more and we can appreciate each other more.
Yeah.
So we can get along well and sustain as
Yeah.
well.
Get along and sustain.
Yeah.
Right.
I maybe want to add on one more thing for especially for Southeast Asia. Right now we have how many friends? Jakarta,
Manila, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok.
Bangkok.
Yeah, so we missing another 5 more.
Yes.
Yeah.
For ASEAN.
For us. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whoever listening
Yeah.
from Myanmar,
Cambodia,
Laos.
and Brunei.
Brunei.
So-
We're having one in Cambodia, right?
Yes, so we
Sar Art.
we slowly going to actually expand and get to know more of friends, especially festival director and festival organizer who are doing illustration, design, and so on. I think would like to actually get in touch so we can actually connect more.
Yeah. Please send us a DM and we can hang out in Google Meet.
The easiest way.
The easiest way.
Hopefully I wish your hope is going to come true
Yeah.
soon,
Amen.
because it's not a, what do you call it? It's not a wishful thinking.
Yeah.
It's something that we can really make it real.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Okay. Well, our time is up.
Okay.
Okay.
JICAF is closing.
Okay.
I need to go and see.
I want to eat.
Thanks again to Shakir. Thanks
Thank
again to
you.
Michael.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again to
Thank
Yoga for
you.
joining us
Merci.
today. Hopefully
Thank you,
we
Mom and
can-
Dad.
Thank you, Mom and Dad. Everyone should visit IAF, should visit KLIF, should visit JICAF, observe about what these illustration fairs are doing, and maybe if
And visit the country, learn about the country.
learn
as
about
well.
country. And if you are an artist, you can also learn about what's happening around the outside your country,
Yeah, yeah.
right? I think it's going to be an interesting knowledge for everyone.
Experience also.
Cultural exchange.
Yeah.
Cultural exchange, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do.
Okay.
Cool.
Southeast Asia unite.
Yeah. ASEAN.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the JICAF podcast. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.